My father looked me in the eye across the dinner table and said, "Your inheritance now depends on respect." My younger brother didn't say a word. He just smiled into his wine glass. I stayed quiet, because I already knew what was in the trust documents, and I knew exactly who had been taking money that wasn't theirs. Want to know what respect costs when it's measured in 6 figures? Because 20 minutes after I left that dinner, I made a call that would end up costing my father more than money. It cost him control. It cost him his reputation. And by the time we walked into that courtroom, it cost him something he thought he'd never lose. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we go further, drop your city and the time where you're watching. Let's see who's up late for this one. And hit subscribe, because you're going to want to see how this ends. Let me take you back to where it started. My mom died when I was 16. Sudden, no warning. She left a trust for me and my brother. Dad was named trustee. He was supposed to manage it until we each turned 30. Then we'd get our shares. Clean, simple, fair. 6 months after the funeral, Dad remarried. My stepmom was nice enough at first, but it didn't take long to see the pattern. My brother got a new car for his 18th birthday. I got a card. He got his college tuition paid in full. I got a loan I'm still paying off. When he wanted to spend a semester in Europe, they made it happen. When I asked for help with rent during my unpaid internship, Dad said I needed to learn responsibility. So I did. I put myself through business school at night. I got a job in corporate compliance. I learned how trusts work, how filings work, how money moves, and how it's supposed to be tracked. And I started keeping records. Everything. Every email Dad sent. Every quarterly trust statement. Every offhand comment about expenses. It became a reflex. I keep spreadsheets. I keep PDFs. I keep backups of backups. I didn't know I'd need them until the lawyer's letter showed up. Dad invited me to lunch. He said he wanted to talk about the trust. I thought maybe he was finally ready to do the distribution early. I was 29. My birthday was 4 months out. Instead, he slid a letter across the table. It was from his attorney, printed on heavy stock. The word amendment appeared 3 times in the first paragraph. "We're adding a new condition," Dad said. "Both of you need to demonstrate respectful conduct and family loyalty before any funds are released." I looked up. That's not in Mom's trust language. It is now. I flipped to page 2. My brother's signature was already there. Neat. Dated 2 days earlier. "What does respectful conduct mean?" I asked. Dad folded his hands. "You'll know it when I see it." I felt my pulse in my throat. "What's the current balance?" "That's not relevant right now. It's my mother's money. It's a family trust," he said. Slow. Calm. Like I was being unreasonable. "Your mother wanted us unified. Don't disrespect her memory by turning this into something ugly." I took the letter. I didn't sign it. I went home and pulled every trust statement from the last 3 years. 2 days later, Dad's lawyer sent a formal notice. My non-compliance was being documented. My pattern of estrangement was under review. My brother texted me that night. "Playing peacemaker. Just sign it. We both get paid. Why make this hard?" I didn't answer. I tried to book a consult with an estate attorney. The first 3 were booked for weeks. The 4th could see me in 10 days. I felt the walls closing in. So I did what I do best. I opened a spreadsheet. I pulled every quarterly statement Dad had sent over the last 3 years. I lined up the balances. I ran projections based on the original trust terms. Conservative growth, standard fees, and then I saw it. The numbers didn't grow. They shrank. Not by a little, by a lot. Roughly $170,000. Gone. Over 36 months. I had the statements. I didn't have proof of where the money went. Yet. And then I remembered something. Trustees are required to file annual accountings. Detailed ones. I'd never seen one. Under state law, any beneficiary can request trust accountings. The trustee has 10 business days to produce them. I sent the request by email. Certified language. Polite but formal. Dad didn't respond. I sent a second request. Certified mail. I copied his attorney. 4 days later, a PDF hit my inbox. 32 pages, single-spaced, no attachments. I opened it. It was a mess. Vague line items. Administrative fees. Property maintenance. Family estate costs. Nothing itemized. Nothing matching the trust language Mom had written. I zoomed in on one section. Administrative fees. $86,400. Spread over 3 years. No breakdown. No vendor names. No invoices. Just a number. I highlighted it. I screenshot it. I sent it to myself 3 different ways. That was receipt number 1. But I knew there'd be more. So I made a call to someone who finds cracks in numbers for a living. A forensic accountant. Dad found out I'd requested the accountings. He called me. I let it ring twice before I picked up. What do you think you're doing? His voice was cold, controlled, angry under the surface. I'm reviewing the trust documents, I said. Like I'm allowed to. You're poisoning this family. Before I could respond, I heard another voice. My stepmom. She was crying. How could you accuse us of theft? After everything we've done for you? I hadn't accused anyone, not yet, but now I knew they were scared. That night, my brother sent a group text to my aunts, my cousins, people I hadn't spoken to in years. My sibling is holding up everyone's inheritance with conspiracy theories. If you care about family, please reach out and talk some sense into them. My phone lit up. My aunt called. Why are you doing this? 2 cousins unfollowed me. The family PR campaign was in full swing, and then Dad's lawyer sent the final move, a petition, to remove me as a beneficiary. Grounds, estrangement, and lack of family loyalty. I had 72 hours to respond. Or I'd lose everything. I paid the forensic accountant $1,500 for a 48-hour surface audit. She called me the next afternoon. You were right, she said. And it's worse than you thought. She walked me through it. Those family estate costs and property maintenance entries. She cross-referenced them with public property records. They matched a purchase, a vacation house, bought 2 years ago, in Dad's name and my stepmom's. Not the trust's name. Theirs. The trust paid the down payment, $68,000. The trust paid for the renovation, $41,000. The trust paid the property taxes. Every cent came out of the account that was supposed to be for me and my brother. None of it benefited us. All of it went into an asset Dad personally owned. She sent me the deed, the tax bills, the contractor invoices. All of it traced back to trust account number 4472. I stared at the screen. That's called self-dealing, she said. Breach of fiduciary duty, and it's actionable. Receipt number 2. Now I had him. I pulled up the original trust document one more time. I went straight to the termination clause. Trust shall terminate and distribute in full when the youngest beneficiary reaches age 30, or upon mutual written consent of all parties to extend. I was turning 30 in 4 months. Once that happened, the trust ended. Automatically. Dad would lose control, and he'd have to file a final accounting with the probate court, a real one, with receipts, with backups, with scrutiny. He couldn't hide $170,000 in missing funds from a judge. The amendment wasn't about respect. It was a stall. If I signed it, the termination clause reset. The trust could go on indefinitely at Dad's discretion. He could bury the self-dealing under years of paperwork and good behavior. And my brother? He'd probably been promised a bigger cut later. Just play along now. Sign the paper. Keep quiet. Dad wasn't protecting the family. He was protecting himself, and now I knew exactly what to do. I didn't sign the amendment. I didn't call Dad back. I didn't argue with my brother or defend myself to my aunt. I just moved. I retained an estate litigation attorney, not the one I'd been waitlisted for. A different one. Specialized. Aggressive. I hired the forensic accountant for a full engagement, and then we filed an emergency petition to remove Dad as trustee. Grounds: breach of fiduciary duty, self-dealing, and failure to provide accurate accountings. We attached 3 exhibits: the 32-page accounting with the mystery fees, the property deed and payment records, and the amendment letter, showing Dad's attempt to delay the distribution. We also filed a motion for a temporary restraining order. Freeze all trust assets. No withdrawals. No transfers. Nothing moves until a judge reviews it. The hearing was set for 12 days out. I didn't tell my father. I didn't warn him. I just let the process server do the talking. He was served at his office, in front of his assistant. I didn't want revenge. I wanted restitution. The hearing was on a Wednesday. Probate court. 10 a.m. Dad showed up with his lawyer. My brother sat in the back. My stepmom stayed home. I sat up front with my attorney and a 3-inch binder. The judge called the case. Dad's lawyer went first. He painted me as estranged, vindictive, someone weaponizing the legal system over a family disagreement. This is a daughter who hasn't attended a single holiday dinner in 2 years, he said, who refuses to engage in good faith. The trustee has acted in full compliance with his fiduciary duties. Then it was our turn. My attorney stood. She didn't raise her voice. She just turned on the projector. Exhibit A, the trust accounting, highlighted sections on screen. $86,000 in administrative fees. No invoices. No explanations. Exhibit C, property deed. 47 Lakeview Drive. Owners, my father and stepmother. Purchase date, 2 years ago. Exhibit D payment ledger. Trust account 4472. Outflows to closing costs, contractors, property tax. Total, $127,000. The forensic accountant took the stand. She spoke for 11 minutes. Calm, precise, devastating. There is no documentation supporting these expenditures, no authorization in the trust language, and the property is titled in the trustee's personal name. This is textbook self-dealing. The judge looked at my father. Mr. Thompson, did you purchase a vacation home using trust funds? Dad hesitated. It was intended as a loan. I plan to repay... My attorney stood again. She pulled up the trust document. Paragraph 12. The trust explicitly prohibits loans to the trustee. Silence. The judge closed her folder. I'm granting the temporary restraining order. All trust accounts are frozen effective immediately. I'm ordering a full audit within 60 days. She looked at Dad one more time. And I'm removing you as trustee. A neutral professional fiduciary will be appointed by end of business Friday. The gavel came down. Dad didn't look at me. My brother left before the judge finished speaking. The audit took 9 weeks. The final report confirmed $166,300 in improper distributions. The new trustee filed a claim against my father personally. He fought it for a month. Then he settled. He deeded the vacation house back into the trust. The property was sold 6 weeks later. He's repaying the remaining balance over 3 years. Wage garnishment. Automatic. No exceptions. My brother got his distribution. It was smaller than he expected. A lot smaller. But it was clean. He didn't apologize. But the group text stopped. Dad and I don't speak. I see him at funerals. We nod. That's it. My stepmom sent one email. Subject line, can we talk? I didn't reply. There's nothing to say. I used my distribution to buy a small duplex. I live in one side. I rent the other to a graduate student at cost. And I started a nonprofit. It's called the Trust and Transparency Youth Initiative. We teach financial literacy to teenagers who've lost a parent, how to read a trust, how to ask questions, how to keep records. Because no one taught me. I had to learn it alone, and I don't want another kid to go through what I did just because they didn't know the right words to say. I sleep fine now. Here's what I learned. Respect isn't something you grant someone because they demand it. It's something you lose when you betray the people who trusted you. And if someone is using the word family or loyalty to stop you from asking questions, ask louder. Keep your receipts. Keep your records. Keep your voice steady. Because the truth doesn't need volume. It just needs proof. So let me ask you this. If you were in my position, would you have signed that amendment? Or would you have fought? Drop your answer in the comments. I read everyone. And if this story hit you, if you've ever had to choose between keeping the peace and keeping your integrity, subscribe. There's more where this came from. Because at the end of the day, you already know which choice lets you sleep at night. This has been a fictionalized dramatization for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're facing a trust dispute, please consult a licensed attorney in your state. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.